Hey everyone, and welcome to a deep dive that's gonna take us, well, a little off the beaten path today.
Yeah, bit of a hidden gem.
That's a good way to put it. We're diving into Jiangmen City.
In Guangdong province, China.
Right. Now, you requested this one, and we've got a whole stack of articles and research ready to go.
We do. It's a fascinating city, really. Lots to unpack.
We're sure, and
Yeah.
luckily we've got our expert here to help us connect all the dots.
Happy to be here.
All right, so a lot of these articles call Jiangmen the gateway to the Wuyi region.
Mm-hmm.
Now, geographically, it sits about 100 kilometers from both Guangzhou and D, that massive economic powerhouse of Shenzhen, Hong Kong.
Right in the middle.
That's got to be significant.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Huge implications. Think of it this way. Jiangmen's perfectly positioned to benefit from something called the Greater Bay Area Initiative.
Okay, yeah, the GBA.
Right. China wants to create this megacity region on par with, New York or Tokyo.
Wow.
And Jiangmen is right in the thick of it. You know how cities like Singapore or Dubai thrive because they're at those crossroads of global trade?
Yeah.
Well, Jiangmen's got that same potential, but with its own unique flavor.
I like it. Okay, so speaking of connections, it's not just about highways and railways, though they've got those for sure.
Oh, yeah, tons of infrastructure.
One article even mentioned a ferry to Hong Kong. 2.5 hours.
Really? That's pretty quick.
Can you imagine?
Hmm.
Sipping your tea, cruising past the Hong Kong skyline on your morning commute?
That's a commute I could get behind.
Right, now hold on a sec. Isn't Jiangmen in the Pearl River Delta?
It is, yeah.
Isn't that supposed to be, like, all factories?
That's a common misconception. A lot of people
Yeah.
think the whole region is just one giant factory floor, but Jiangmen's actually very intentional about balancing things out.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at how their GDP breaks down, you've got secondary industries, so that's manufacturing, and tertiary industries, things like services and tourism.
Okay.
Those each make up almost half. Agriculture's a small slice.
See, this is where it gets interesting. Remember Jiangmen's nickname? The City of Hot Springs.
I do.
So it's not just a slogan. We're talking a whole valley, the Gudu Hot Spring Valley, dedicated to natural hot springs.
Wow, so you've got this bustling modern city,
And right on its doorstep.
these ancient, relaxing oases.
What a contrast.
That contrast isn't by chance.
Yeah.
Jiangmen's leaders have this long-term vision, something sustainable.
Yeah.
A well-rounded city that keeps its natural beauty and its cultural heritage,
Are.
all while still competing on that global stage.
Exactly. And speaking of heritage, this is where we get to something that really caught my eye. The Kaiping Dailu.
Ah, yes. A UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Now, these aren't just pretty buildings, they tell a story.
They really do.
So picture this multi-story watchtowers, built over centuries, mainly for defense.
Oh,
But here's the twist. They blend Chinese and Western architectural styles.
interesting. How come?
Well, that's because the people who built these towers had often lived abroad.
Ah, I see.
And that's where the capital of overseas Chinese title comes in.
Makes sense.
Jiangmen has this incredible connection to diaspora communities worldwide.
Yeah.
Get this. Millions of people from over 100 countries can trace their roots back to this one city.
That's incredible. It kind of puts those Diaolu towers in a new light, doesn't it?
It does. They're a physical reminder of that cultural exchange.
Of people bringing ideas and influences back home from all over the world.
Exactly. So we've got this city with this unique cultural mix, a prime location for growth. But the articles also mentioned a lot of historical context that shaped all of this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A lot happened there.
We're talking about the treaty port era, forced modernization, people emigrating due to hardship.
Right.
Must have been a tough time for Jiangmen.
No doubt about it. Those events, they left a mark. Not just on the city, but on the people, too.
Yeah.
It instilled this resilience, this drive to adapt and overcome.
You can see that in their history, even today.
Absolutely. And it's still relevant.
It connects to what's happening now. I mean, the city's economic growth is undeniable.
It is.
But there are always new hurdles, right?
There are.
The articles talked about things like shifting global markets, the need to keep up with, like, lightning-fast tech advancements.
Those are challenges every city faces in the 21st century.
True, but how they respond makes all the difference.
And Jiangmen's track record.
Well, they've got a history of bouncing back, of reinventing themselves.
Remarkable.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Strategic location, unique culture, a history of resilience. We're pretty well versed in Jiangmen's past now, but what about its future?
What does the big picture look like?
Exactly.
Well, I think Jiangmen's future is really tied to the future of that Greater Bay Area initiative.
Right.
When you see the scale of the infrastructure projects they've got going on, it's clear they're not just trying to keep up, they're aiming to be a leader.
Ambitious.
For sure. A prime example is that Shenzhen-Jiangmen high-speed rail link.
Oh, yeah. Game changer. Imagine zipping between these two powerhouses in practically no time.
It's incredible, but it's about more than just shaving off a few minutes on your commute.
Oh, I bet.
This is about seamlessly connecting people, ideas, and industries across the entire Greater Bay Area
Creating a super region.
that can compete on a global scale, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jiangmen, with its strategic location and this blend of strengths, is right at the heart of it.
So I got to ask, why should someone listening to this, maybe on the other side of the world, care about Jiangmen? What makes this story relevant to them?
That's a great question, because Jiangmen's story is a microcosm of larger trends.
Okay.
China's rise, globalization, the opportunities and challenges facing cities all over the world.
Right.
It's a story of resilience, adaptation, carving your own path in a world that's constantly changing. And honestly, that's something we can all relate to no matter where we are.
So we've been talking about how Jiangmen fits into this grand plan of the Greater Bay Area.
It's huge EE.
And the scale, it's just mind-boggling.
It really is, weaving 11 major cities, Hong Kong and Macau included, into a single economic zone. It's something else.
It's like they're building a mega city, right?
Yeah.
Straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah. And it goes beyond just economics. This initiative aims to, boost innovation, revamp infrastructure, even tackle environmental challenges across the entire region.
Wow.
A massive undertaking for sure. And Jiangmen's part in all this can't be overlooked.
Well, and speaking of Jiangmen's unique contributions, remember those Dialu towers we were talking about?
Mm.
They're more than just a tourist attraction.
Oh, absolutely.
They represent something deeper about the people, their connection to the wider world.
You know, those Dialu are a fascinating window into a time of intense globalization.
Yeah.
Imagine, late 19th, early 20th centuries, tons of people from Jiangmen emigrated,
Wow.
looking for opportunities in far-off places. They went to Southeast Asia, Europe, North America, all over.
Really spread out.
They did, and when they came back, they brought more than just souvenirs and stories,
What else?
Architectural ideas, building techniques, decorative elements that blended with traditional Chinese styles.
So cool. It's like their experiences are woven into the city itself.
Right, a testament to their resilience, their adaptability, their openness to new ideas.
And this was during a time of hardship for many in China, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But the people of Jiangmen, they didn't just survive, they innovated.
They thrive.
They brought back pieces of the world with them.
What a story. But not everyone came back.
That's true. Millions with roots in Jiangmen are still all over the world.
So how does this city maintain that connection today with those diaspora communities, I mean?
That's a good question. It's pretty interesting, actually. They've been actively investing in programs, cultural exchanges, business initiatives, even online platforms to connect with those communities.
Smart.
They get it. That connection is an asset, a source of cultural richness, economic opportunity, global connections.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly. Jiangmen's past was shaped by its diaspora, and now the city's working to maintain those ties for the future.
A living example of globalization at work.
Not just economics, but culture, too. And that focus on connection, on building bridges, it's reflected in their approach to the Greater Bay Area, too.
Looking outwards.
Connecting with their neighbors, the world beyond.
Now, we've talked big picture stuff, but I'm curious, what's it actually like to visit Jiangmen? What would a visitor see, hear, taste?
Ooh, well, imagine strolling through Qingkan, ancient town.
Okay.
Historic arcade buildings, traditional shops, or hiking through Gufeng Mountain surrounded by waterfalls, serene lakes, and of course those famous hot springs.
You're making me want to book a trip. The articles mentioned a surge in tourism lately.
There has been, yeah.
Is that just a coincidence, or?
I wouldn't say so. Jiangmen's been actively promoting itself.
Okay.
Highlighting their cultural heritage, natural beauty, even its role as a filming location for TV shows.
Oh, cool.
They're tapping into that growing interest in authentic Chinese experiences.
And it's working.
Seems like it.
So we've explored the past, the present, even glimpsed the future of Jiangmen.
Yeah.
But, every success story has its challenges. What are some of the obstacles they face as they continue to develop to integrate into the Greater Bay Area?
That's an important point. And for Jiangmen, some of the challenges are ones many rapidly developing cities face. managing urbanization, ensuring sustainability, adapting to tech advancements.
That's a great point. It's not always smooth sailing.
It isn't.
So for the last part of our deep dive, let's take a closer look at those challenges, how Jiangmen's tackling them.
Yeah.
We've really gone deep on Jiangmen City, its history, its culture, its place in that booming Greater Bay Area.
Yeah, we have.
But like any city on the fast track,
Yeah,
there are going to be some bumps in the road, right?
for sure. But you know what I found interesting? Jiangmen's leaders, they seem very aware of these challenges.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not shying away. There's a real sense of proactive planning, I'd say, especially when it comes to sustainable development.
Right. A lot of the articles highlighted their focus on the environment,
Mm-hmm.
promoting clean energy, managing resources responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're trying to balance economic growth with environmental protection.
A tough balance to strike, for sure. It's something cities all over the world are dealing with.
It is. But what's encouraging is that Jiangmen isn't just talking about sustainability.
Right.
They're putting their money where their mouth is.
They are investing in concrete projects and initiatives.
Yeah, one example I remember was their approach to transportation.
Okay.
We talked about that high-speed rail link, right? Connecting Jiangmen to Shenzhen.
Uh-huh.
It's a huge economic boost,
Mm-hmm.
but it also has the potential to reduce emissions, get people out of their cars.
Exactly. Infrastructure design with sustainability in mind. They're also investing a lot in smart city tech
Interesting.
to manage things like traffic, energy consumption, even waste disposal
So smart.
more efficiently. Yeah. It's like they're using technology to not just boost the economy, but to lessen those negative impacts.
Does that come with growth? Yeah.
Exactly. That rapid urbanization. It's a pretty clever approach, I think.
It is. It is. And it points to like a forward-thinking way of planning a city.
They get it. They understand that sustainable development isn't just about protecting the environment. It's about creating a better quality of life for everyone,
For the residents.
making sure growth benefits everyone.
You know, that makes me think about something we discussed earlier, Jiangmen's connection to its diaspora communities.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how those connections shape their past, but how are they factoring into their future?
That's a good question. They're actually tapping into those diaspora networks
Okay.
to attract investment,
Hmm.
foster innovation, even promote cultural exchange. They're holding conferences, creating online platforms, offering services
Wow.
to make it easier for overseas Chinese to do business there.
So they're turning what some might consider just a historical footnote, right? This huge diaspora
Yeah,
into a strategic advantage.
exactly. A
Yeah.
very smart move. These are people with deep ties to Jiangmen, with valuable skills, experience, capital to offer.
Makes sense.
Leveraging those networks benefits them on multiple levels.
Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Jiangmen City.
It's been a journey.
It has. We started by calling it the gateway to the Wuyi region, but I think we've all learned it's so much more than just a place on a map.
It really is. We've uncovered a city with a rich history, a resilient spirit, and a big part to play in that region.
What stood out to me was their ambition to find balance
That's a good way to put it.
between economic growth and sustainability,
Yeah.
between tradition and modernity, between their local identity and global connections.
It's inspiring, honestly.
It is. Jiangmen's story is still being written,
It is.
but their ability to adapt, to integrate, while holding onto their cultural core, that's a powerful lesson.
It is, no matter where you are in the world.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.